r/AskReddit. What's the worst way to break up with someone? Dude sent me a screenshot of him with my girl laying on his chest on Valentine's Day while I was overnight in a hotel for work many hours away. UHH. How kind. Make the decision hastily. Tell everyone but them. Ghost them. Then send them an email to not their primary email that they don't check. Show up at their doorstep a week later asking to have them back. Jesus man. I take it this is personal experience speaking? I did not take her back. Dodge that bullet like Neo in the Matrix. In a group text. Please tell me it didn't happen to you cause that's a ducking bruh moment. Edit. My most upvoted comment is a bruh moment. Bruh. LOL. No. I've been with my wife since texting was hardly a thing. Christmas Eve my ex got all of her gifts because we wouldn't see each other the next day because she would be busy. Turns out she had been cheating on me with another guy and she just wanted to get her gifts. After packing everything she says oh yeah we are done I'm seeing someone else and left. We were together for several years and engaged at that point but at least I got the ring back. Edit. Thanks for silver I didn't know my worst moment would turn out to be my best on Reddit XD and this was 2011 I moved on and married my middle school crush we have been together for 6 years now. This is why I get paranoid and eventually avoidant whenever I hear someone's busy. People who start liking you less will masquerade it as a small white lie. It's so damn common. I never know what to do but put my emotional walls up whenever I hear I am busy. So true. I'm busy all the time. But I take a second to let my boyfriend know what kind of busy that is. And send stories of anything funny that occurs. And send random hearts throughout the day. It's not that hard to include your partner even if you are busy. If someone just says that and gives no reason, it's pretty sketchy mo. Leave and never return. Don't send any messages. Block them from all social media. Never tell them the reason. Losing someone who you thought was fine with you so suddenly in such a quiet and confusing way will really duck with someone's anxiety and self-esteem. Yep. My fiance of 7 years friends for 15 years, aka half of our ducking lives, left while I was sleeping. Took everything. Never told me why and it was the most horrifying, mentally damaging experience of my life. You have to really not give a duck about someone to hurt them like that. I'm sorry you had to go through that equals. Have you seen them since? As much as I hate to admit this, here goes. After he did that, I spent the next 8-9 months desperately trying to convince him to snap out of whatever the duck that was and come home. I debased the hell out of myself and allowed him to treat me like total shit, which he later told me he was doing in an attempt to make me angry rather than sad needy so it would be easier for me to deal with constantly. But I was seriously desperate for any kind of attention from him so his shitty treatment of me did next to nothing to stop me from sleeping with him again. I ended up getting pregnant with our daughter, despite us both deciding a long time ago neither of us wanted children. A much larger part of me wanted to keep the baby and when I told him I was doing so, he told me he wanted nothing to do with us. At that point I knew it was time to stop chasing him for good, and ended up becoming very close with a mutual friend of ours which soon evolved into a romantic relationship. Literally the second he saw me happy with our friend for the first time in a year, he completely flipped a script and wrote me this bullshit letter outlining his sudden realization that he wants to spend the rest of his life with me, raise our child together, and spend the foreseeable future rebuilding trust with me after what he had done. And you know what? My stupid ass actually bought that ship. Mostly because it was what I had spent 9 months waiting to hear. Even though it was painfully obvious that he was only having this revelation because he became jealous the moment he saw another man making me happy. So the friend and I break things off and I go back to my ex. To his minute credit, he was wonderful to me throughout my pregnancy. I'll give him that. However, 3 months ago he left me again. This time he had the balls to actually tell me he was doing it, but failed to bring up any of the reasons he cited for it at any time before that exact moment so that I couldn't have possibly done anything to change it, as I was unaware of it completely. Long story short, I wasted many years of my life being hopelessly in love with a total kitten who had zero qualms with making sure I had horrible trust and abandonment issues for years to come because he didn't feel that learning to effectively communicate was worth The effort. He also made a point to duck anything that could fog a mirror within moments of leaving me both times. Long story short, he's a complete ass and I have serious issues with mistaking quantity for quality. Just because you have a large amount of time under your belt with someone doesn't mean it's worth duck all, and people will always surprise you. Row. I found out my ex and I weren't together after he posted an Instagram picture with his best friend of 3 years saying it only took me 3 years to ask her out. Oof, I am so sorry. Geez, this sounds eerily similar to what happened to my girlfriend's brother. His common law wife out of nowhere said she didn't love him anymore. Later on that day, a mutual friend of theirs sent him a pic from Facebook of her and the guy that she was dating behind his back that the guy posted saying that said after being on and off for 4 years, she was finally permanently his. Brutal. Edit. She didn't love him anymore. Common law marriage is whereas you have a relationship with a significant other that one has lived with for a certain amount of time where they say they are married without a marriage license. Permanently his. Woman is a pre-established cheater. LOL, good luck with that. My college roommate spent an entire weekend with his girlfriend from another state knowing he was going to break up with her. When he took her to drop off at the train station on Sunday, he waited until she was leaning in with the car door open to kiss him goodbye. Broke the news instead of kissing her. Didn't even unbuckle and get out. She stood there stunned with bags on the curb and he closed the door and drove off. I thought that was pretty shifty. I don't know why this stuff still shocks me. People murder each other, and I am shocked at mean breakups. Dumping over text is mean. This is just evil. Some just take joy in ruining others. I got dumped over text after a 2-year relationship, then blocked on everything from Snapchat to Steam. I thought that was cruel. Reading these stories on here make me think what happened to me was pretty mild. My long-term ex-boyfriend did this, almost to a T. I came to visit him for a 4-day weekend and he waited until the night I left and ended it. The always part was we just had an amazing double date with his friends whose home I was staying in during the trip. I woke up to leave a few hours later and they asked when I was moving to live there and I burst into tears and explained. It was an awful experience, but I really did dodge a bullet and ended up with someone so much better for me. It all works out. Edit. Wording, he was my long-term boyfriend who is now my ex. By notarized letter. But what if the person you want to break up with is your notary? You cheat on the notary with a new notary. Double whammy. Guys are all the same. They all just want the stamp. Go into a public place and act like everything is normal. Then pat yourself down as if you're looking for something. Start frantically looking under and inside of random objects. When you feel an appropriate amount of time has passed, go back and tell them you've lost your feelings for them. Wow, that's kinda dark, lol. I just can't find the reason why I haven't broken up with you. She had her mom do it for her. My former girlfriend came from an obscenely wealthy family and never had to deal with any real life matters herself. Her folks handled everything. This left her lacking in the maturity department. Her folks never liked me. The poor artist boyfriend wasn't a suitable fit for their daughter and decided it was time for me to go. Girlfriend's folks had the locks changed on the doors of the condo I'd been sharing with her, which they owned, and her mom was waiting outside when I arrived home from work. She informed me that the relationship was over and that I should gather my things while she waited. What if she told your girlfriend that you came and got all your things and were breaking up with her? 5D checkers. I guess you can confirm that by texting her, you want to break up with me, and you have to have your mother do it for you. Who are you? Who are so wise in the ways of science? This is the plot of many a Chinese drama series. By marrying their sister, or her father, or her dog. Over the internet on Valentine's Day, which also happens to be their birthday. That is some Ted Mosby level ship right there. Classic Schmosby. Him. I can't explain why I have to break up with you. It's ineffable. Her, I'm not effable. 27 years or so ago, my ex-wife made love to me. Then right after, while still lying in bed together in the afterglow, she took off her ring and gave it to me and said she wanted a divorce. I couldn't believe she had done it that way, although I was ready for it to be over. She said she thought it would be the nicest way to do it. I thought it was pretty ruthless. Whatever. Edit. Remarried to someone else. Happily. 423. 1/2 years now. Back in high school, 20-ish years ago, I remember hearing about a couple having the following phone conversation. Guy: hey, guess who broke up today? Girl: who? Guy: us. Hell, just got a new arrival. Edit: thank you for multiplying my karma by at least 100. Tell them that they can spend Christmas in your guest room when they visit because someone else will be staying in their room with them. Source: last Christmas. Probably either on the second day of a 7-day trip, or on the second hour of a 9-hour ducking bus ride where you still have to be within 10 feet of each other for the rest of the damn trip. Not that I'm bitter or anything. Yeah, second day of the 7-day trip happened to me. Totally sucked. Was this like a school trip or something? I can't imagine adults doing this to each other. Being trapped on a trip with your ex, on either end, would be terrible. I was at a camping thing a few weeks ago, and it was pretty dark so I didn't see, but I heard the fallout of a relationship, and the girl was like, I came all the way up this mountain to be with you this weekend, and I hear this, she had a couple days stuck on the mountain, with a relationship that was over due to a bad decision by the guy. There's just something about camping that brings out the best of us, LMAO. I just came back from a camping trip where I was third wheeling with my friend and her boyfriend of 2 years. They argued the whole time and finally she broke up with him. I acted as mediator just so they'd stop fighting and making it awkward for me, and apparently I got them back together. Dude, that's like putting scotch tape on a broken vase after an earthquake and saying it's fixed right before an aftershock. Except he has time to run away from said vase before the aftershock hits. Bottle it, marry them, then spend 30+ years together. I guess if you think about it, the worst breakup would be the one that never happened, but should have. The American dream. When you're a politician and your wife gets cancer, tell your campaign finance manager she's not young enough or pretty enough to be the wife of the president, and besides, she has cancer. Then you file for divorce while she's in the hospital. You later file for divorce from your second wife after she's diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Who did this? Newt Gingrich. My boyfriend broke up with me by texting me asking how my day was. I said fine. How was yours? He responded with great, had a fantastic day with my girlfriend. I was at work all day. We had been together for 4 years and been living together for 2. He had been cheating on me and decided to leave me for his mistress. Good times. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever read. Are you sure he wrote it and not his jealous mistress? I thought about that, but even if it was her, what followed was just as bad. He proceeded to blame the whole situation on me. He tore me down, telling me all the ways I was a failure and what a monster I was, all publicly on social media. He even posted screenshots of our conversations to Facebook and ridiculed me, including the ones of me begging him not to leave, and disclosed some very personal things I confessed to him. I got sent videos of him and his new girlfriend during intimate time, and he would tell her, oh, you do this so much better than her, you feel so much better than she ever did. I never loved her like I love you. The real ducked up thing is, up until that text I thought we were happy. We had even talked about getting engaged. I guess I had been depriving him of attention and making him feel unwanted because I became a full-time student and worked a full-time job after high school. He was lonely sitting at the house by himself all day. He only worked part-time. I was boring because after a 16-hour day I wanted to sleep and not go out and party. Went as far to say that me being gone that long was emotional abuse, and I didn't love him. I get where he's coming from, and I understand why he left. I'll just never understand why he chose to do it like that. Bruh, what kind of twisted ship is that? Also, sending you the videos is just so ducked. Also, what a strong vibe of I'm so over you. Look how over you I am. Coming off that. Over text right after they tell you they have cancer. Am I crazy? Everyone else is thinking this comment is saying that you are the one saying you have cancer. But if you read the text, 98% of people misread this and it annoys me more than it should, lol. Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more high quality content.